All right, election day 2020. I'm gonna make some projections here. It's 3:28 in the afternoon on election day. I'm gonna look at a really simple data set that goes back in time to 2016 and take a look at how Trump won that election and use this very simple data set. It isn't Trump versus anyone. It's Trump versus himself. It's a popularity contest with himself. The way I see it, this is a race that's his to win and always has been. So we look back in time, we look to now, we do some comparisons on a very simple thing. What is that very simple thing? That very simple thing is his net approval rating. What is net approval rating? Net approval rating is your approval and your disapproval. It's a very simple question. It's asked by multiple sources. It's asked by Civiqs via the net. It's asked by Morning Consult. It's asked by 538. It's a simple question. Do you approve? Do you not approve? Or do you not have an answer? The people that don't have an answer are generally about 2 or 3%. So I'm just using approve, disapprove, and just going with it. And I'm going to color these states based only on those answers. Nothing to do with any opponent. There's no Biden involved. There's nothing. This is Trump versus Trump. Starting from when he won in 2016 and going until now, and making a very simple comparison to see what we might expect and what he might be up to. In this case, I'm going to show you how badly he could possibly lose this election. All right. But for you Super Trump fans, I'm also going to show you how he's going to win this. So stick with me. I don't need a bunch of shit talk comments. I just don't need it. This is a simple mathematical analysis. I'll keep my own political beliefs to myself, and we're just going to go through it. So I'm on a random page that we're recording right now. I'm on Tracking Trump, Morning Consult. They stopped doing this back in February when COVID started. Oh, geez, already botched it. We'll pass on them. We'll go over here to we'll go to 538. So what 538 does is they take every possible poll and they go through, and you see all the dots, you see the red, you see the green. This is approval, disapproval. And your net approval is the difference between those two numbers. You can see back here at the very beginning, Trump had actually a favorable approval rating. He had a 4.2 in this case approval rating. That's not a great approval rating, but that's what he had when he came into office. Now here we are. He is at a 5.4, 7.6, he's at a 12 point something deficit of his disapproval rating. And so that doesn't really bode well for comparing where he was in the beginning and where he's at now. He's been all over the place. And these things vary. They vary day to day. All of these different dots in here are adjustments that this particular thing makes depending on how biased each one of these polls are. They make adjustments for these things to come across with these numbers. So, I mean, he's been worse. I mean, up here, he's been terrible. But, I mean, he's pretty close right now. So, he's got a good shot at things as far as his look at the world and how that's going. Here is the Morning Consult thing that I tried to pull up in the first place. This is February 2020, which is when they stopped doing this. We'll go back to the beginning here, January 2017. This is when he won the election. The blue actually means good for him. It's not a red deal. So all of this stuff is pretty mild. Even like some of the things are just like, okay, here's this, here's that. So all of this stuff is like super Trump country. That was the U.S. when he actually took office. And you can see as we roll through a little bit, if I can make it move. This is not cooperating. Don't know why. We'll figure it out. All right. You can see as we move around, all the colors change a bunch. Things get redder, things get bluer. But I mean, we start off at super blue, and then we start to get ugly, and it goes back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And ultimately, we get to a certain point. Okay, that's neither here nor there. So, what I did is I took all of these numbers and ended up with his approval, disapproval rating in each available state. Right now I'm actually in the historic zones of different presidents. Trump is right here. He's always under this bottom line on each one of these charts. And this compares this to all these different presidents, where they were at where he was at. So you have Obama, well above that. He got reelected. Bush, well above Trump. Fine. Clinton, up there. That was a good win for him. HW, he lost his buns right here, and he was under Trump. So that's kind of gives you a good mark on where you lose. Carter lost right there. Nixon was fine. That was first term. Gerald Ford, that doesn't really matter that much. Anyway, Kennedy, I mean, this also gives you a good example of what good is. This is a 60-some% approval rating of Kennedy, 40, 50, 60, that kind of stuff. And also, you have Bush here. This is a good case right here of, this is like 9/11 area, and boom, all of a sudden he's in an 80% net approval rating across all parties. So this is something that you can achieve if you actually respond to events that are happening in the world well. So anyway, that said, so I take all of these things, right? And I take a good look at the net approval rating, right? For every possible state, right? And there was the initial net approval rating, and then there's the net approval rating now, and then there's the difference between those. And you can sort these out, and you can see that there's a bunch of states that are in the middle. States like Montana, Utah, South Carolina, Kansas, Indiana. These things all fall right in the middle. Ohio, Texas, whatever, Alaska, Iowa. And then there's things that like super favor him. Wyoming, West Virginia, North Dakota, Arkansas. Then there's super states that super hate him. Up here at 53, 50, oh my God, California, Hawaii, New York. You know, so I divided this out into a number of spaces. Anything that's around 0 to plus or minus 5 is going to be just a straight up brown state. It's just what it is. It's just a brown state. That's going to be on the chart. That's going to be like up for grabs. Anything from 5 to 10 is going to be a light color, light blue or light pink, right? So that means all this stuff going this way in this direction that doesn't favor him, and also going this way that does favor him, right? So, and then you go from 10 to 15, that's a darker blue or darker red. And then anything 15 and above, I'm just going to give him that. Some of these are just so far gone, there's no way he's going to win any of these. And some of these are so far heavy. Look at these things. There's no way Biden is going to win any of these either. No way. He's not getting any of those. So, all right, using this exact data set, right? Just to be super fair and show you how super fair this is, I'm going to show you back in time, 2016, what this looks like using this exact data set from the exact sources that I've used if I were to put it on 2016. Okay, find it. There we go. This is the map of 2016 as far as this data set is concerned. This has Trump winning with 348 electoral votes, which is way more than he actually, well, not way more. It's some more than he won by. You can see right there all of these red states that were all red for Trump, all of this stuff that goes up through here, all of this stuff that's kind of wishy-washy up here that, you know, Hillary did win. There was a couple things that were closer than they really needed to be, you know. I mean, if you look back at things, there were Democratic states that he won. He won. You know, actually, well, we can look at a map of what he did win, but I'll just show you on this one. It doesn't matter. He won Michigan. He won Pennsylvania. He won Wisconsin. He won Maine, or one small vote in Maine. He won Florida. But then there were things that were normally blue states that were close. Oh, those were blue states that he won. And there were things within 2%, like New Hampshire, Minnesota. Clinton won both of those. I'm sorry, and Trump won Florida, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. Anywho, we can look at that one right here. This is what it actually looks like, the full electoral map, right? This is what actually ended up happening. And you can look at these two maps. They're pretty close, but this shows that with this data set, with the 348 that I'm using for this new model, this shows you exactly how much this actually does favor Trump. So if anybody wants to come back at me and go, oh, this stupid data set, blah, blah, blah. No, this actually does kind of favor Trump. This basically is just a thing that says, do people like you or not like you? It's a popularity contest. It's all good, you know? And the thing is that has changed a lot. So we're going to look at how much that's changed, and we're going to see what it's going to take for him to win this thing, right? Because this is then pretty big win there. This is that model, all right? So now I'm going to scare the crap out of you Trump people, but I'm just going to show you the reality of where he's at in the world. This is where he's at in the world, using this exact same data set. All of these states that are brown are within 5 points plus or minus of 0 in his own popularity, not against anybody. This is just how much people like him or don't like him, okay? The things that are light pink, that used to be super red, some of them, if you look back, boom, 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 are now not so really super red. You know, look around a little bit. Holy moly. So, there's a lot of blue states that are bluer than they were in this other map, because there's been a whole bunch of shifts in these numbers. These numbers, these are the shifts. These are the differences that have happened over 4 years. Everything is like Trump has been down -22 in some states, -23, -13, -7. There's only 2 states where he's actually even up. South Dakota, North Dakota, he's up 2 and 8. And there's a couple here. Everything else he's down in. Okay, it's just reality. And it's a combination of 3 humongously solid popular polling devices. Not bullshit polls, not exit polls. It's just a simple question. Do you approve of what he's doing or do you not approve of what he's doing? So, okay, we've got this map, right? So what do we do with this? We've got Democrats, because, again, this is not against Biden. This is Trump versus Trump. So we've got solid 215 dark blue states. That's anything over 15 plus. And maybe I should have made that bigger. Maybe I could have been 20 plus, just to make it thicker. But that's a pretty solid win. If your popularity is a deficit of 15, you got a hard time winning that state, no matter what happens. So, okay. Nonetheless, here we go. What does Trump have solid? He has 62 electoral votes that are solid. That's Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, Oklahoma, Wyoming, Idaho, North Dakota, South Dakota. That's it. And he gets a little piece of Nebraska because they, like Maine, split up their shit, right? All right, so he's only got 97. He's got to get to 270. He's got to get to this mark in the middle, right? So how does he do that? So right now, this is a trounce, straight up. This is 351, that's 97, but there's 90 undecided. So, okay, let's start looking through some of the undecideds. Undecideds are pretty easy, right? Because there's a good chance, being that Trump did win this state, that state, this state, that state, that state, this state. I'm just going to go ahead just to give him the benefit of the doubt and just give him pretty much all of them. Texas, that's kind of a weird one because that one's kind of up for grabs. If we take a look at Texas in all states, boom, 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 where are they right now? Texas was at a -1 right here. That was 1 point in Trump's favor. Now it's 21 points the other way. Is that the right map? I think it might be. Let me make sure about that one. No, I'm sorry. No, I said that wrong. It's actually -1 the other way. It was 21 points. It was positive. Now it's -1 the other way. Excuse me. So, I mean, he had Texas locked up by 21 points. Now he has it unlocked up by -1. So that's a toss-up state. Not giving him that one. That's not really giving him that one. South Carolina, it's a southern state. Screw it. Giving that one to Trump. We're going whatever. I don't care what color it is. Hard red. Right? Kansas is Kansas. See ya. Utah, he won that. See ya. Alaska, that one's close enough. People love, oil money and stuff like that in Alaska. This doesn't need reasons. It's just, again, I'm not going to make this a political thing on the whys and the why nots. Ohio is a super close toss-up. If I look at that one, that is right now at a -1. He had a 14 positive there before, but now it's like, yeah, that one's such a toss-up. I'm going to give him this one later because I'm going to have to, and I'm going to give him this one later too. And I'm going to give him Iowa right away. Okay, so it doesn't matter what color pink these are. They just all go into this thing, and they just all add up to, okay, so now he's at 130. So 130, you're still 140 shy of where you need to be. So you got to start biting out pieces of the pie here. So you got some swing states here. If either one of these are wins, people are talking Pennsylvania. People are talking, oh, he might win Minnesota. Why might he win Minnesota? Because Minnesota was one of the states that he was within 2% of. Now he's at like some crazy thing like, oh, yikes. 15 down. So, whatever, He campaigned a lot here, he campaigned a lot through here, campaigned there, but these right now are medium blue for a reason. So we'll get to those if we get to those. But we got to start biting off some of these, right? So, New Mexico, Arizona. Well, last time, that isn't last time. He did get Arizona, he did not get New Mexico. So let's give him Arizona. And what else? We got Georgia, North Carolina. Let's do that one. Because he got both those. I know he got both those. Let's give him both those. And hell it. We'll give him Florida. 29 electoral votes. That's huge. That's giant. That's bigger than Pennsylvania. Still, where is he? He's at 201. Oh, good Lord. Okay. Crap. Where else does he go? Well, we still have Texas up for grabs. That's a point. Okay, so right now we got to give him something to get him somewhere. Boom. Now we're getting close. We're scratching the surface. Look how much that made a difference. Just getting Texas. Holy crap. Going from here to there, I think turn it red, is a huge jump. Texas, big win either way. Texas, if that gets decided one way or the other, yeah, it could doom either candidate. I doubt this will change. I doubt it. But it could. It would get him closer. But I'm not going to go there quite yet. Okay, so what else we got? I mean, Wisconsin's having huge COVID problems, but they're a super split state. New Mexico's a possibility. Virginia, I don't know, man. I mean, right now, he's still 40 shy. Where do you find 40 out of this? Find some big ones. I mean, maybe Michigan. He's not going to win Illinois. I doubt that at all. What's Illinois look like? Yeah, he's at a 25% deficit. He was at a 9+. That's like 34-point difference from the day he got elected. That's how much Illinois hates him. Hard to give him Illinois. And he didn't win Illinois, I don't think. No, he sure didn't. He didn't win that state anyway. So screw that one. I don't know where else to go here. What do we have for Brown? Let's give him Ohio. Yeah, let's do that. Oh, almost got him there. So if he gets Ohio and he gets Texas, those are biggies. I mean, if he did win Pennsylvania, that would put him over the top. That would get him there. Let's take a look at that one. I don't think that's going to happen. Pen. Hell no, -12. Fuck it. We'll give it to him. Why not? That's not that big of a swing. He could win that. All right, so New Mexico, sure, give Minnesota, give Wisconsin, Michigan, Illinois, this, that. That's kind of it. If all of that happens, from 97 where we were before, and he wins every one of those states that he has a negative popularity rating in, he will win the presidency. So there you go. There's your happy little gift to all my favorite friends and Trump supporters. And if that works out, that's how it goes. And but that's a long road, man. And there's a lot of things. Anything could change that. Oops, that's a loss. Oops, that's a big loss. Oops, I didn't even hit it, and it was still a big loss. I don't know. He's got a lot of work to do starting from where he began. So, on that note, at 21 minutes and 21 seconds, I am just going to call this one as it is. Have a great election night, everyone. I know you're going to see a million of these damn maps from everybody. This is my take on it. It's a totally different take than anybody's going to do on exit polls. It's just Trump versus Trump. It's his own popularity. This was his thing to win. He could have done a way better job and made everybody super happy. And again, without interjecting any other wonderful ideas of what he did wrong or right or could have done, I'll just leave it at that. So have a wonderful day, everyone.